Hello, everyone. Today is the first day of the 30 days mental health awareness in support of the mental health month. So we'll start with the question, what is mental health? Our mental health is the way we feel. It is our emotional and psychological well-being. It influences how we think, feel, behave. It helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and also make decisions. Our mental health is very important in every stage of life, starting from childhood to adolescence to adulthood. Mental health doesn't care who we are. It doesn't care if we are white or black. It doesn't care if we are kid or an adult. It doesn't care if we are male or female. It doesn't care if we are rich or poor. It affects everybody. At a point in time in our lives, we all have gone through some sort of mental health struggle, but unfortunately, not all of us recognizes it. In many African countries, as well as some part of the world, there are misconceptions of what mental health is. While some communities may recognize mental well-being or mental health, some stigmatize it and they see it as a disease, or some as a taboo or a sign of weakness that is attached to incapability. Also, some call it witchcraft, my African people, or a sort of curse that has to do with spiritual forces or spiritual punishment. And as a result of all this, people don't seek help or support. Before we proceed, it is critical to distinguish between mental health and mental illness. When most people hear the term mental health, majority of people think about mental illness, which is not the same. So mental health relates to the whole well-being, including how we feel at any given time, how we behave, how we respond to what is going on around us. In contrast, mental illness is a medical condition that interferes with our behaviors, our thoughts, our feelings, our mood. It requires understanding, support, as well as adequate care. Example of mental illness is bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, PTSD, and others. So mental illness are actually considered disabilities. When we are mentally stable, we feel good. We feel alive. We appreciate ourselves. We appreciate people around us. We appreciate others. We are able to make decisions in a good way. We are stable enough to deal with challenging circumstances in our personal life, in our professional life. It's like everything around us just feel kind of perfect in our own way. At the same time, I understand that it's very hard out there right now with inflation and the rising cost of everything. Yet, salaries remain the same, or some people don't even have enough to call a salary. The worry about how to pay bills, how to pay the next expense, even how to afford to pay the next meal becomes a source of stress for many people's mental health nowadays. So people just have to find a way to just balance things out so they don't let things affect them to the extent that it pushes them from mental health to mental illness. There's just a very thin line within those two situations. As humans, we've all dealt with mental health issues at a point in time. Either we understand or recognize it or we don't. So I'm going to give you a quick example. So we have Mama Chinedu, who owes Auntie Mary for 2 cups of rice that she bought from her 2 weeks ago. For the past week, on our way to pick Chinedu from school, in order to avoid Auntie Mary, she would rather take a route, depending on what part of the country you are at. So she would rather take a route that is 3 times longer than her taking the route that goes through Auntie Mary's shop. So after a few days of taking those long route, Mama Chinedu realized that, her body starts paining her, that she started feeling this pain all over her body and her legs hurt due to the long walk. So now she will have to buy a boniki, or actually pain reliever, to help her relieve the pain. And all this money, it's not in her budget, right? So the pain she's going through is a form of stressor. And if that stressor persists, it starts affecting her mental health and her well-being as well. Then unconsciously, she starts behaving differently. Our attitude will change, our mood will change, how she responds or behaves to the people around her will change. That's an example of how things affect our mental health and we are unaware of it. So we have to find a balance to understand or to notice when we're going through these mental health issues. We have to start understanding when we start acting different, when we start responding different, when things start affecting the way we think, the way we reason. Like I said before, there's a thin line between mental health and mental illness. When we bottle things up to an extent, it can switch into mental illness if we're not careful. So the more we take time to just get a little space for ourselves, to just take a little time to rest, it goes a long way when it comes to mental health. Please don't hesitate to ask for help. Seek help when you start noticing all these things about you. Ask people around you if you've changed, if you're talking differently, if you're acting differently. The earlier you recognize these signs and treat it, the better it is for you and also your family. I know there's a lot more to the topic, but I'm going to stop here today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I will answer those questions and talk about them after the 30 days. Please don't forget to also share this video with those you think may need to hear this, and also follow my page to join me on the 30-day journey. Until the next time, stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you in the next video.